First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Tonight's the night the vice presidential candidates will debate for the first time on national television. We'll tell you what you can expect from tonight's showdown.
A major Hurricane Matthew passed through Haiti earlier today. Coming up, I'll tell you where it's headed next.
And Hurricane Matthew is leaving its mark. Tonight we'll hear from people who are concerned for Haiti.
That's our top story tonight. Good evening. It's Tuesday, October 4th. I'm Stephanie Byrne.
And I'm Ryan Nelson. Thanks for joining us. The storm is dumping significant amounts of rain on the island nation right now. WUFT's Alexa Lytle spoke to some local residents who have firsthand experience with Haiti, and they're worried. Hurricane Matthew is concerning state leaders, including Governor Rick Scott. Matthew is not expected to hit Florida until Thursday night, but a hurricane watch is still in effect for part of the state. Governor Rick Scott is urging people along the I-95 corridor from the Keys to Jacksonville to start preparing now. Scott declared a state of emergency yesterday.
Don't focus on the exact track at this time. The storm will be close to our state, and a small deviation from the expected track could mean a catastrophic storm would hit your part of the state.
Is pre-positioning resources along the East Coast now to be ready for the storm.
The governor is urging people to follow local evacuation orders if issued, but that's a practical nightmare for the homeless.
They don't have the means to hop in a car, go stay in a hotel somewhere out of harm's way, but many won't consider a local shelter if it means abandoning their belongings. WUFT's Savannah Collins has more on the concerns about where this leaves them.
Ryan, Stephanie, there may be a couple hundred people living near Grace Marketplace, not inside the shelter itself, but at the nearby campground that's come to be known as Dignity Village. There are ongoing safety concerns about what would happen if another Hermine or a worse storm were to pass overhead.
The Confederate soldier statue in downtown Gainesville could be finding a new home. The statue, nicknamed Old Joe, drew controversy last year over its Confederate nature. Alachua County commissioners unanimously agreed to discuss the location of the statue. The Veterans Service Advisory Board is now being asked to weigh in on the issue. The recommendations will be discussed at a later county commission meeting.
Now covering stories making national headlines. Blue Apron is under investigation for workplace safety and violence. Police responded to the meal delivery services California plant numerous times last year. That includes 3 times for bomb threats and 7 times for assault. Blue Apron also racked up $20,000 in fines for chemical storage and employee training violations. Blue Apron says its rapid growth forced it to use temp agencies, but it's now adding permanent staff to solve the issues. And 2 tech giants are battling it out in the Supreme Court. Apple is asking the court to uphold a jury's award for damages against Samsung. In 2012, a jury trial found Samsung infringed on 6 different Apple patents, and that jury awarded Apple $1 billion in damages. Last year, an appeals court reduced the award to $548 million. Samsung is now questioning whether it has to pay that much, arguing the old design laws don't seem to apply well in terms of modern gadgets with lots of features.
WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up tonight, VP candidates are going head-to-head in their first live debate. We'll tell you where you can watch and participate here at home.
And Hurricane Matthew is slowly but surely making its way towards Florida. Coming up, I'll tell you what impacts we can expect.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The dive team members found some human bones earlier today. At this point, just based on the totality of the investigation, we do believe that the remains are those of Hannah Brim.
The case of a woman who has been missing for 8 months is finally receiving answers. New information tonight in the disappearance of 23-year-old Hannah Brim. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Byrne.
And I'm Ryan Nelson. Thanks for joining us. Law enforcement officials believe they have finally found her remains. WUFT's Sydney Martin joins us now. Sydney, you attended the press conference earlier this afternoon. What did you find out?
So law enforcement officials actually said that the remains were found just 2.5 miles northwest of Orange Heights, an area that they had conducted multiple searches on in the past year. Now officials are describing the area as swampy and near railroad tracks, even going on to say it's not very accessible.
Thank you, Sydney. The University of Florida has had the tough task of replacing a longtime successful athletic director.
And with Jeremy Foley stepping down, Florida has been on the hunt for the next man up. We bring in WUFT sports reporter Ben Murphy, who has the latest details on the University of Florida's newest athletic director, Scott Strickland. Ben?
Okay, so imagine being in charge of every sport at your alma mater. That's the gig Scott Strickland has had at Mississippi State over the last 5 years. You would think it would take a lot to get the 2015-2016 Under Armour Athletic Director of the Year away from his own school, but that just shows you how special this Florida job is. Scott Strickland made his way to the Sunshine State today and addressed his new home for the first time.
You know, there may be 2 or 3 jobs in the country I might be interested in leaving Mississippi State for. And those jobs may never call, and that's okay, because I've got a good deal. And then this job came up. And going through this process, it became obvious to me that there's really only one job I'd leave Mississippi State for, and that is to be a Florida Gator.
Jeremy Foley likes the new hire, too. You'll hear from him later in the show, but for now, at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, reporting live, Ben Murphy, WUFT Sports.
The state fire marshal's office is looking into a Jonesville apartment fire that left 1 person dead. Alachua County Fire Rescue responded to the fire yesterday evening. Deputies pulled the woman from the building. She later died at North Florida Regional Medical Center. The fire marshal says the cause of the fire is still unknown.
The Gainesville Police Department has increased the reward for information leading to an arrest in the murder of Antonio Mason. The reward is now $8,000. It was previously $3,000. Mason was shot in July while holding his 11-month-old daughter. His daughter and another adult were injured. If you have any information, you can call Crime Stoppers at 352-372-STOP.
Well, the big debate last night leads to a more fundamental question. Are you registered to vote? Today is National Voter Registration Day, and many colleges and universities were hosting registration drives. One student we met at Santa Fe College says she is honored to be able to vote in this upcoming election.
I'm half Latin, so knowing that some of the international students can't vote when they actually want to vote more than Americans, and knowing as a girl, not being able to vote 97 years ago, which was just my great-grandparents were not able to vote, and how that has changed, and in that time how a lot has changed, but also how so little has changed.
Now we'll have much more on the presidential debate later in this newscast. And by the way, if you haven't registered to vote just yet, the deadline is October 11th.
A popular children's food now being recalled. Tyson is recalling about 132,000 pounds of chicken nuggets. It's because they could be contaminated with hard plastic. That recall includes 5-pound bags of Tyson fully cooked panko chicken nuggets. They have a best if used by date of July 18th, 2017. It also includes 20-pound bulk packages containing spare time fully cooked panko chicken nuggets, nugget-shaped chicken breasts, patty fritters with rib meat. If you have one of the affected packages, you're advised to throw it away or return it to the store. WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started.
Coming up, the first presidential debate wrapped up last night. We'll tell you how voters in Gainesville reacted.
And it looks like Dorothy's famous ruby red slippers are in need of saving.
But not from the Wicked Witch of the West. The iconic red shoes worn by Judy Garland are almost 80 years old and are definitely showing their age. The Smithsonian Institution, which features the shoes in their National Museum of American History, has launched a Kickstarter campaign. Their goal is to raise $300,000 to restore the sequined shoes. You know, I really hope they reach their goal. Those are an important part of American history right there.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're going to go somewhere over the rainbow. One last check on the weather with Dan.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and that means Christmas is not too far away.
And one incredible Christmas tree is making its way to Manhattan. The Rockefeller Christmas tree was cut down this morning in upstate New York. The 94-foot Norway spruce was donated and should arrive Saturday. This is the second largest tree ever for the Rockefeller Center. 5,000 lights will be switched on during a live broadcast on November 30th.
Wow, that's amazing. That is such a big tree, and I'm so excited that Christmas is coming up.
I would love to go see that. Love to take a trip to New York and see that in person.
Every day is National Theme Day, from National Chip Day to Coffee Day.
And you know, Steph, it seems like there may actually be something to taco about today. Today is the taco lover's dream come true. It's not only Taco Tuesday, but it's also National Taco Day. Big chain restaurants are taking advantage of the theme with promotions and discounts. Chipotle Mexican Grill is introducing chorizo as a new ingredient to tacos. On the Border is featuring 50-cent mini tacos, and Taco Bell does not have any special deals, but they are giving out special greeting cards. You know, I was a little torn about what to have for dinner tonight, but I guess this settles it. I'm probably going to have some tacos.
Oh yeah, want to go after the show?
Yeah, let's make it a thing.
Let's talk about it,
Yeah.
I guess.